is Tom Duty, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty in a Google search from my site. Person reported in my Ubereats who has used my code to register. Amen, Alleluia, Assalamu Alaikum, Mazel Tov. Absolutely thrilled. This puts me in double digits. I have 10 people who have used my code. I am so happy. So, listeners, if you click through amateur bloggers who do videos, and you imagine what it's like to do videos, there are some that just border on professional. You know, they seem like amateurs like I am, but yet they have editing and they do clever things with visual. And let me tell you, if you're a soloist and you're an amateur blogger, it's hard to imagine that they do it because the time it takes. So anyways, this is me, soloist, envious of the people who seem to have resources and time and patience that I lack. This is my attempt to, show my person, not just a, blogger's face hanging over the webcam like that, but show more of myself to this is exaltation. So the excitement that I feel should not be lost in this video, and this is my attempt to visually and audibly express how pleased I am. And the one that triggered this is Abdullah. So I'm going to, and listeners, stay with me. It's going to be a little bit redundant because I'm going to read through this list, but then I'm going to go to my computer. I'm going to turn off my webcam. I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to show you the list that I have. But I want to read the list while I'm standing. So, first of all, the most recent subscriber was Abdullah, and that happened East Coast time, something like 2 in the morning. And where Abdullah is, I don't know, and I don't expect I will ever know. I don't know where the rest of these people are either. I do get the sense most of them, if not all of them, are American and American residents. The next most recent one was Steve, and prior to that was Jose. Now, Uber does this clever job of circling the icon to show you how these people are progressing toward a complete circle. And, of course, Abdullah, who started at 2 in the morning, he has 1 of 4. So Uber does 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, and then full. And when it's full, I get paid, an incentive for not only recruiting these people, which I didn't really do. I just attracted them somehow through this blogging and by doing it myself. And then they 1/4, 1/2, 3/4, full. Then I get an incentive. So Abdullah right now is at 1/4. Now, Steve, the person right before him, is 1/2, and Jose, the person before Steve, is 3/4. So, in theory, Jose is the closest. Of these 3 people, he's the most recent, and he's also the closest. But it doesn't really work that way. And I'm going to fast forward to the other Instagram pic I have. Again, I'm going to be showing these in a screen share in a moment. All the way down at the bottom, and in that vertical right is a list of these people, is Keisha. Now, Keisha is the first one and currently the only one to reach the full circle and earn me an incentive. And Keisha was up higher in the list. So, in other words, she registered after several people, but then finished her minimum hurdle prior to, any one of the 10, and prior to all the people who had come before her. So I do have noticed some progress, so I can't articulate it exactly. The other half of the list, okay, so again, it goes Abdullah, Steve, Jose. Those are the three most recent. Abdullah being the very most recent. Last night, during this 24-hour day, just after midnight. Then Anthony, who has half a circle. Travis, who has a quarter of a circle. Augustine, 3/4 of a circle. Come on, Augustine. Tenora, quarter of a circle. Nicholas, quarter of a circle. And Mohammed, quarter of a circle. Now, Mohammed registered the beginning of the summer and has not made any progress. So I've got, now of course Mohammed is a Muslim name, and Abdullah I think is a Muslim name. So I got a Muslim at the beginning of my list. My most recent register is a Muslim, and that's not lost on me. That's exciting to me. I have a Muslim business partner in India. Assalamu alaikum, Muslim amigos. So my Instagram just went to a different screen. So again, after Abdullah, then Steve, then Jose, then it goes Anthony, Travis, Augustine, Tenora, Nicholas, and Mohammed. I will share the screen. And listeners, if you're on this list, stay with me. Listeners, if you're not on the list and you're bored, you're burning time, stay with me anyways. So here we go. Oops. I'm having a tech problem here, folks. I can't. Oh, here we go. Entire screen. Okay, so I am now sharing my screen, and I got to go to Instagram. Please tell me I'm logged in. I haven't gone to Instagram. I don't go on this computer very often. Log in Instagram. Listeners, this is on a Google Chromebook, which is a very inexpensive, very low-powered computer, and I have success. So there's only 2 screen shares. Now, listeners who are interested in tracking themselves through their way to earning me a bonus. Now, why do you care if I earn a bonus? Well, obviously you care because you took the time to find someone's code. So it indicates you care, but it still doesn't say why you care. Your motivation could be, and I think in part, in some extent, it's got to contribute to why you're motivated to do my code and why you're motivated to continue to listen to my videos as you might be now. The reason for that is you want to recruit your own people, and you kind of want to know what it looks like from my perspective, because what I'm sharing in this video, you just don't find from Uber. Uber kind of leaves this cloud around the incentive part of recruiting other people. So this one is Abdullah, and I crop it so the last names go off. I don't want to disclose anyone's identity. And by the way, Uber gives me the ability to spam you people, and I've decided not to do that. The only way I will continue to communicate with you people is one-to-many. In other words, you might listen, you might not. I don't know who's listening. Could be none of the 10 of you. I think it's probably not 0 of the 10 of you. I think I might have 1 of you. And maybe it's Abdullah. He put my code in last night. So that quarter of a circle on Abdullah's icon here, that indicates he is the first of 4 parts. The next is half, then it's 3/4, then it's a full. Keish is the only one that has a full. Then it's Steve. Steve is the next most recent one, and he's half. And then the most recent one, the next most recent one is Jose. Now, these are the most recent 3 people. So, you'd think I go to the other 7, and if this guy's real fresh and he's a quarter, a little less fresh and he's a half, and then this person is a little less fresh and is 3/4, then everyone after that person is going to be complete, and that's just not true. It's absolutely not true. Keisha is the only one of the remaining 7 who was. So Keisha was like up here. I think she was above Tenora. So she registered. We used my code after Tenora, before Augustine. I think. I could go back and check it, but it's not really that important. Whatever she is, she dropped from somewhere in this part of the list down to the bottom when she completed. So Travis has a quarter. Augustine, look at that, 3/4. Tenora, a quarter. Nicholas, a quarter of the circle. And Mohammed, a quarter of the circle. So this is. I asked my listeners to put it on lie detector and try to see if I'm lying, right? Everyone says, oh, it's not about the money. It's not about the money. And sometimes, even if they feel they're sincere, they can't convince anyone that they're sincere. But I am going to attempt to convince you I'm sincere. First of all, I am. I know my feelings are sincere. Mohammed, thank you. Okay, you registered at the beginning of the summer. I have no idea why you haven't advanced. It's not my business. I appreciate that you found my code of the thousands that you could have found and chose me to register. That's just great. And that's a compliment. And for whatever reason, you know, it could be 100 reasons that are in the genre of, I registered in an area where you got to do Uber with an automobile and my automobile got towed. You know, it could be, I just changed my mind. It could be any number of reasons. So it is sincere. Mohammed, you found my code among the thousands that you could have used, and you used mine. Thank you. Nicholas, same. You found my code among the thousands you could have found. You used mine. Thank you. Tenora, you could have found 1,000 codes. You used mine. Thank you. Augustine, okay, this is where the lie detector gets sensitive, because those 3 that I just mentioned are my first 3, and they're only 1/4. So if my thank you to Augustine seems a little more generous, it's probably because it is, but it still doesn't cancel the appreciation I have for Mohammed and Nicholas and Tenora. Augustine, you chose my code from thousands, and you progressed 3/4 of the way around the circle. Thank you. Travis, you have registered with my code. You chose mine out of thousands you could have chose. Thank you. And of course, I'm going to go over and do this. Again, Abdullah, Steve, and Jose, I've done that. Abdullah, thank you. Steve, thank you. And Jose, thank you. So, Keisha, all right, it's obvious. Keisha's my favorite. She's the first one to finish, and it's just absolutely great. You know, she got on the internet, did some surfing. So many times, activity on the internet is not followed by action. Our mind gets filled with a lot of good things. I'm speaking of myself as well. And then it just doesn't happen. You know, reality gets in the way. But Keisha, at a moment in solitude, decides, I want to do Uber. She goes the extra step to find someone's code. Chances are she found mine. She puts mine in. She registered. And then she progresses and meets the minimum. What that minimum is, I don't know, but whatever hurdle Uber put in front of her, it varies by market and by Ubereats or Uber driving and whatever. So I don't know what the number is, but I do know she completed it. Uber put a hurdle in front of her, and she passes. So she turned thought and extra research into, she turned inspiration into research, finds my code, registers, gets the background check clear, starts to do the delivery. So this has to happen over a matter of a month and a half, 2 months by the time she finished. So it really is a testimony to someone that quite honestly is using the sources of the internet. It's absolutely fantastic to see it. The rest of you folks, again, you've done part of it. You got the inspiration, research to find my code, and you registered. Some of you are showing progress, and some of you seem to have changed your mind. Either way, to me, it's an absolute great compliment that you have chosen my code over the thousands that you could have. So again, I'll just finish. Keisha, I've been generous with words about you, so I'm going to stop. And I am going to go over to my most recent one. Special note to Abdullah, my most recent and my first. Both Muslims, Muhammad and Abdullah. I don't know that you're Muslim, but those are Muslim names. Assalamu alaikum. Everyone, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you. This has been Tom Duty, middle-aged American, living in New Jersey, near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Duty and a Google search from my site. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, good evening, a restful night's sleep. Ciao. Ciao.